how? Double click to like. Well, I like myself. Okay, oh, just realized I need to zoom. Oh, no, the person left. Okay, it's okay. I'll just go through the paper. For those that are wondering, I'm going through 2022 P5 Chij paper today. Okay, so first question, Sally and her siblings planned to cook dinner for their parents and went to buy the ingredients blank. So over here, you're talking about this. So you're not looking at anyone else. So you need to choose the right reflexive pronoun in this case, which will be themselves. Himself is singular. And it will only refer to Sally. Yourself is second person. So there's first person, second person, third person. Depends on what perspective you are seeing it from. Then ourselves would include the speaker. And themselves is the correct answer in this case because you're just talking about the duals and it's plural. Oh, hello, 哎呦好累，欢迎来到我们的直播间。I think that person joined before Jason. But okay, hello. 如果你有什么问题可以 DM 我们。What's it called? TT is it? That's what Yuki always types. 可以私讯我们私信我们。Yeah. Okay, the person left. Oh. Okay, so that's the answer in this case. Okay, so question 2. My mother bought all the pictures that blank by the celebrity artist. So over here you need passive voice. So you need passive voice to show the pictures were acted upon in the past. So over here, Drew is active voice. It's not what we're looking at. Is drawing is present continuous. Present continuous. Anything ing is always continuous. Was drawn is singular, but your subject is mismatched. So over here, to show that it gives you the passive voice that you need, it will have to be number 4, were drawn. Okay. Moving on. Question 3. After the marathon, the boy had what energy left? So things to take note, you must see whether is it first uncountable or countable. So running a marathon. Marathon is essentially marathon. So after running a whole marathon, you will have what energy left? So second would be context. So in this case, the context would be that after, no matter what it is, especially after a marathon, because it's more tiring because it's a longer distance. So you will have not much energy left. Why I use much is because energy is uncountable. So that's why you have to use uncountable quantifiers, okay? So the boy had what energy left? So the word that is the same as not much would be little. Few is used for countable. Hello everyone, 大家好。如果你们有什么问题的话，可以私信我们哦。Okay, so little is right because it's used for uncountable and it fits the context in this case. Many is used for positive quantity. I.e. to say that it is countable. Several can be used for countable. In some cases uncountable, but depends on what you want to write and what you're specifying, okay? So you can't really talk about energy with several. Okay, question 4. My class was having our art class, blank, the fire alarm went off. So is it so, while, since, or when? So what's the right preposition? So over here, my class was having our art class, blank, the fire alarm went off. So, while, since, and when. So usually, okay, not so usually shows result. So when you use this preposition so, you don't talk about time. You would talk about results instead. He didn't study for the test, so he failed. Something like that. While is possible, but it's not as precise. So over here, we need the most suitable answer, the most apt one. Because there's 4 options, so you need to choose the one that is the will best fit the blank here, okay? Since would show cause or time from past. Like since the 1980s, or if cause, it will be used the same way as so. Since you did not study, you didn't pass. Then when. So when is used to show when this happened. This is more specific. That's why usually while means 2 things are happening at the same time, but it's not as precise. So to use something that's more precise, you would say when this event occurred, okay? So this one is just telling you what was ongoing, but the main thing I want to focus to tell you that is the fire alarm went off. And when did it happen? At that specific time. That's why the right preposition to use is when. Hello, 大家好。如果有什么问题可以私信我们。Yeah. If anyone's wondering, I'm doing 2022 P5 Scgs Eoy paper. Okay, next, question 5. The children were amazed when they heard Laura blank like a nightingale. So is it sing, sang, sung, or sings? So over here, you see this? This is a verb, correct? This is past tense of the word here. This is the base form. This is a noun because it's Laura, it's a person. And then over here, sing, sang, sung, sings, they are all verbs. So if you recall this verb, noun, verb rule, this verb over here always needs to be in its bare infinitive or its base form. Okay, so what that means is essentially the form that you have never done anything to it, didn't change it to any tense. So it's the present tense, and you don't add s or anything. even though it's only one person. Remember, verbs, if they are singular, you will add s. And if it's plural, you don't add s. It's the opposite of noun. Okay? But because we want the bare infinitive, even if it's present tense, I don't need to care about whether I need add s or not add s. That's why 1 is the answer in this case. So sang is just past. Simple past. Then this is, sorry, not future. This is past participle. And sings is just simple present as well. But it's for singular subjects. Since you're talking about verbs, okay? Moving on. Question 6. The boy blank parents are well-known athletes, won most of the races during sports day. So over here, the main thing to look at is parents. So this parents is linked to the boy. They have a certain relationship. In this case, it will be parent and child. I won't rewrite it again. But essentially, in a sense, you can say, or rather you can see that this parent belongs to the boy, or another word to use is possession. This is the simplified form of what possession or ownership means. Okay, won most of the races during sports day. So who, which, whom, whose. So what do you choose? In order for your sentence to be coherent and make sense, you will need something that shows all these ideas. And in this case, it's this word, whose. These options are pretty straightforward. They always come out, so it's good to know when to use what. So who is always used for subject, which is used for things, whom is when people are seen as objects. Of verb. Put it in this because humans can't really be seen as objects because I mean you shouldn't objectify them also, so yes. So whose is like what I said, belongs to, possession or ownership. So in this case, the parents in a sense belongs to the boy, so false the correct answer. Okay, next. Rick walks to school as his house is blank Kinsley Street, which is just across the school. So what is the right preposition? The phrase Kinsley Street, okay? At, all these are called prepositions, by the way. So at is too specific. In should be used for enclosed spaces. On is right because I want to say this place is on the street. And from shows direction. Doesn't really show location. Okay. Okay, next, moving on. There's not much to say about prepositions. It's more of practice, then you will know when to use what. Okay, so you see the question mark, so you know it's a question tag. And for question tags, if the front is positive, the back will be negative, and vice versa. So he knew. Knew is a positive word. Word that suggests negative would be hardly, never, rarely. So new is positive, okay? So based on our rule here, we need to follow this number one. So the back should be negative. And we must identify what's the auxiliary verb in this case. Is it did or is it do? So over here, you see asked. So it's past tense, so these are out. And what's negative? It's for. Okay, so these two are positive and these two are negative. So you need to find the right auxiliary verb for it also. Okay, next. Owing to, in spite of, as a result of, regardless of. Having a bad headache, I managed to complete all the household chores. So, bad headache and completing all the household chores. This is a contrast. Okay? So whenever you have contrast, you need the word to show that they are not the same. And over here, what is the one that shows that it is not the same? Owing to would show the cause. In spite of does show contrast. That's why 2 is correct. As a result of also shows cause. And sometimes you can say it's 因果. Okay. Regardless would be ignoring. So it doesn't show contrast as clearly. It's just saying, I don't want to listen to whatever you told me to do. Okay, moving on to question 10. Several pupils blanked for their group presentation since this morning. Is it was rehearsing, were rehearsing, has been rehearsing, or have been rehearsing? So, since this morning. This is this. So, this happened in the past. And it happened till now. So what tense you need would be present perfect continuous. Okay, to show that it is ongoing and it also happened in the past. Okay, so present perfect continuous would be these two. Then you look at several pupils, so you know that this is plural. So difference between these two is that this is singular and this is plural. So answer should be 4. Was rehearsing is singular and it's just past continuous. Past continuous just means it happened for a period of time in the past and it started in the past and it ended in the past really. Okay, so that's the difference. This is also, but it's just plural past. So it still is this. Okay, next. Mother did not know how to operate the food processor as she had misplaced its what? Is it recipe, manual, directory, or reference? So in this case, the answer should be 2. A manual is a booklet or document that explains to you how to do something. A recipe would be for cooking. So it doesn't tell you how to operate a machine. But over here we need a food processor. So the food processor can aid in the recipe, but it can't do anything for you. Okay? Okay, next, directory. Directory is a list of names or information. And reference is a source of general information. Okay, next. Her family was forced to what? These are phrasal verbs. So retrench means you're out of a job, i.e. to say you're fired. So on their spending, spending is how much you, what's another word for spend? How much money you use. I need to say it's okay. So in this case, let's just go down the options. 4 will be correct, but why? Cut up means to literally chop into pieces. So something like this. Chop, sorry, not chop. Cut off is to stop something entirely. Cut down is to remove completely. And it's usually a specific item. Okay, then cut down means reducing the amount. So over here you need to reduce the amount. There are two ways. One is either, or rather, one is to cut down on what you eat. Two is to cut down spending of something. Can be money, can be resources. Okay. Next, she opened the envelope as her blank was peaked when she saw it labeled as top secret. So over here, open the envelope as her what was peaked. When you see this word, it's always associated with one feeling, and it's always this. So envy means jealousy. And it's unrelated to interest. Anxiety would be about nervousness or worry and not curiosity. Ecstasy is when you experience extreme joy. So in this case, it doesn't match the context. Okay, then so curiosity, what does it mean? It basically means to be very interested or eager to know more. Okay, by the thrilling rides at the carnival, Timmy made a beeline for the ticket counter. So made a beeline just means charge in that direction. Okay, so what by the thrilling rides? Is it relieved, appalled, enthused, or intimidated? Over here, it should be feeling better. And usually, it's after stress. So it doesn't quite fit here. Appalled is to be shocked or disgusted. Enthused would be the correct answer. It means excited or eager about something. And intimidated just means to be scared or nervous. Question 15. Sally blanked her stage fright and participated in the speech competition. So Sally overcame. This is the past tense. So the present tense would be overcome. So what it means, to overcome something means to successfully deal with or defeat it. Okay, then why are the others wrong? The first one, overlook. Overlook means to ignore. It's not exactly correct here. Overturned means to flip over. Overlook just means repeated distractor, and again, it's not relevant. Okay. There's not much to do for this since no one's commenting, so I'll just read through and give the answer. In today's fast-paced world, people often complain that there simply aren't enough hours in a day. Sleep is usually the first thing to be sacrificed because of a busy schedule. However, sleep is very important for your physical and mental health. It is during sleep that the body takes the time to rest and repair itself as well as consolidate memory. When you sleep, not only do muscles relax, and supply is also restored. Because not only, so I'm talking about more than one thing. Additionally, hormones that regulate growth and appetite are released. The amount of sleep required to feel adequate. Refresh on the next day depends on a person's age. Children need an average of 9 hours of sleep daily, and this figure goes up to 16 hours in the case of newborn babies. If you do not get enough sleep, you may have to contend You may have trouble concentrating and remembering what the teacher has taught. This can cause you to make mistakes at school and feel irritable or depressed. In the long term, this could later lead to a serious illness such as obesity and depression. Okay, I'll skip the next portion, then I'll just go back to MCQ. Okay, so she's a very gracious girl, all her friends like her. So you need to use such and that. So such and that cause, or rather shows cause and effect. So she is such a gracious girl that all her friends like her. Next, would rather and then. So let's talk about word pairs. First one will be prefer and to, and your verb needs to have an ing. Would rather you pair with then and your verb doesn't have ing. If you use from and to, then between is with n. You don't say between 1 to 5. Between 1 and 5, from 1 to 5. Okay. What else? Oh, neither nor. And either or. So this one would join two negative ideas. This one is just join two ideas. So this is the important part. So when you write, you must make sure that your answer must be negative. Okay. So this is to show preference. So your structure should be as such. So this should be your structure, okay? So it should be like this. Yeah. So that's what I talked about just now. So it's used to join two negative ideas together. So you know that it is negative already. So narrow in a sense is negative. So you need to write something that's positive to make sure that fits the neither nor clause. So in this case, it will be the roads nor the paths in the forest were wide. So you need to change from narrow to wide because remember again it joins two negative ideas. Okay, next. Jill performed in the concert. It made her feel proud. So whenever I see this apostrophe s, all the apostrophe s or s that apostrophe or pronouns that always have s, it always belongs to. Other words to use would be possession or ownership. Okay, so that is the difference. So we need to change this from verb to noun form. So Joe's performance. Then just copy the rest. Okay, so that's how you do this question. Okay, so the last one is just rewriting it such that for both the location is the same. I.e. to say they will both show location and can be used. So the village I visited was where my grandfather was born. You cannot say is because this happened in the past. The grandfather is already born. Okay, let's see if we can do this portion. Although it'll be a bit small though. Okay, let's do the first few then. So leopard went to cat, blank agreed to teach him. So over here, my question is, who is this person that agreed to teach him? So in this case, I don't know, so I need a subject, right? So word that shows subject is who. Okay, so the first thing leopard learned was to hide himself, blank the bushes. Pretty easy, it's a collocation among things. Among the bushes, so that he would not be seen by any animal passing by. Next, he learned how to move noiselessly through the woods. Because imagine, okay, I'm just going to draw like the forest. So imagine these are all trees, right? Now imagine these are all trees. Through means like this, going through them. Even if I take a zigzag path, it's still saying through the forest, okay? Okay, the third skill was how to use his front left paw to pounce blank his prey. Pounce what? Pounce upon. When leopard blank learned them thoroughly, had learned them. Cause this past participle. So I know that this is perfect tense. And based on what we've learned so far, on the timeline, he did something else and this before that something else, so the event A. So to show something happened on the timeline, i.e. to see this A, this B, you need to use past perfect or perfect tenses. Okay, that's about it. Let me get back to vocab then. No, I don't think the person's watching anymore. Oh, Hello 安嘉怡，欢迎来到我们的直播间。Okay, but yes, I'm going through 2022 P5 Chij paper. 如果你们有什么问题，可以私信我们。 Okay, question 11. So again, food processor, this is a machine. So what you need here is a manual, not anything else. What's the meaning of a manual? Is a booklet or document. That explains how to use something. Recipe is for it's for cooking. So that's not about operating a machine. Directory is a list of names. Or information. Reference is a source of general information. And this is not about instructions. Okay, next. So this is about spending and retrench. So spending is how much money you spend. So all these are phrasal verbs. So cut up is to chop into pieces. So maybe let's say the person's cutting a turnip. Okay. Then maybe from this you get this. So into pieces. Even more maybe like that. Okay, so basically find pieces. Or you can chop it like that too. Okay. Cut off is to stop something entirely. Cut out to remove completely. Cut this person out. Usually it's a specific item. And cut down would mean to reduce the amount of something. Okay, 13. Open the envelope. And so what was piqued when she saw it labeled as top secret? This word usually comes with this feeling, curiosity. Okay. Envy means jealousy. Not related to interest. Anxiety means nervousness. Or worry, not about curiosity. Ecstasy means extreme joy. So it doesn't match the context. So 14. What by the thrilling rides at the carnival, Timmy made a beeline for the counter. Relieved means feeling better. Okay, so that's the meaning of these few words. So based on the meaning, you would choose enthused because you want excited or eager. Making a beeline means running towards it, or rather charging. Okay, last one before I end the live. So over here, overtook means, or rather overlook. Overtook just means you overtake someone. Okay. Means you got in front of them. This means to successfully deal with. Or defeat it. Overturn means to flip over. Overlook means to ignore, which is not correct. So over here the answer should be 2. Overcame. Okay, so covered the paper and redid this portion, and there's not much time left, so I'll just end the live here. If you guys got any questions, you can give us a follow or DM us. Okay, bye guys.